Daniel Alienyi, a young certified software engineer, astute entrepreneur, and emerging industry captain, is the founder and chief executive officer of IAF SAWII Limited, a fast-growing ICT company in Nigeria, and indeed one of the most distinguished CEOs to look up to in 2024.
From my 8 to 9 years of experience in the ICT industry, staying relevant has a lot to do with the desire to make an impact, because there will be a lot of challenges and problems along the way. But once you have that determination to make an impact, obviously you will look for a way out. Like in our own case, we had a lot of problems along the way. Things like access to internet was limited to an extent. We had problems like power, because when we started in 2015, we had power issues. So at that point, we had to get some sort of inverter with solar system to deal with power. Then of course, we had funding problem, but what we did was to rally friends and family, and we're able to pull through. But that is just the problem at the early stage. But along the line, we had problems like dealing with piracy, dealing with all kinds of issues to stifle the business and to drain oxygen out of the business. But what we had to do was to look for ways. For example, we had to redesign our system, our monetization system. We had to discuss various ways to deal with problems as we went along. So for me, I can capture the whole thing as the determination to make an impact. If you are resolved to make a difference, you will look for a way out and you will look for a solution as you go along. IAF SAWII started with about 6 young guys that had different experience. So we had various experience. One of the co-founders happened to have worked in a Chevron at some point. Then one of us also had happened to work in Access Bank. Then I just left school not too long. I finished from the University of Lagos, and I had already started programming things, building software. I'm actually a software engineer aside doing managing. In fact, I'm actually both the CEO and the head of engineering, or you can say CTO. So over the years, I've built myself in that aspect, in software engineering and development. So we started about 6 of us, and then we came together, we put our resources together, we rented a place where we were both living and working, because we wanted to save costs. So what we did was, okay, why don't we're all young, 20-something, we're not married. So let's live and work. So we had about 2 rooms with a parlor. So at that time, we were saving costs on rent. So we would stay there, we'd work, we'll pass the night, then we'll wake up the next day, we kept on working. So that was how we started. So it was a bit rough, but the interesting thing is we're all passionate. We wanted to make a difference, because in the edutech then, there were little solutions out there. I mean, then what you would see majorly are paper-based solutions, things like paper pass question, textbooks. So the educational industry was not really making speedy progress at that time. So we wanted to pioneer or make a difference in that space. So that was how we started, and ever since we've been making a lot of headway, and it has been great since then. The goal we had then was, how can we digitize learning? That was the foundation of of whatever I wanted to do. So we said, we have several solutions out there, but most of them are not digital. So how can we digitize learning? So that was the first goal. The second goal is, how can we make learning fun? Because the usual way people learn is not fun, like you're just so boring and all of that. So the third is, how can we create specialized software that would make a difference? So what we mean by that is, aside just learning and taking questions, can we also build things like math solver, something that you can actually type your question and get instant solution. So the benefit of that is, you are going beyond just providing static information. You are now going beyond that by providing dynamic information. Dynamic information that they are created based on users' requests. So if I ask a system, solve this problem, the solution is not being pulled from a database. The system is thinking about the problem and profiling solution. So building such a system would go a long way, because a lot of students will be able to get solutions to their problem instantly without having to look for a teacher and all of that. So these are the three goals we thought about. So first is digitize education. Second is to make sure that learning is fun. Then third is to provide specialized tools, or you can call them innovative tools, that would make learning dynamic, not just static, pulling information from a database, like you are creating or synthesizing responses. So these were the three goals we had. And regarding the mission, our goal is to just, as I said earlier, but let me just present in a more formalized way, is to make learning fun, but in such a way that students will be able to pass their exams very, very well. So, because at the end of the day, our goal is not just to build some random things. Our goal is to also help them achieve their goal. And for most of our users, their goal is to scale their exam, get good grade, and move on to the next stage of their life. So for those writing common entrance now, their goal is to get to junior secondary. Those in junior secondary get to senior secondary, and those in secondary should get to university. So our focus is for these groups of people, we want them to be able to scale their exam and pass in flying colors, so that they'll be able to reach their next milestone in life. So that's our mission generally. So that's our day-to-day thing. So every time we think about what can we do, how can we improve this, how can we make this better, how can we add this feature to make that goal to come to life. So that's our mission in general. Sure, we've achieved a great deal of them. Of course, one thing about any innovative company is you have to keep pushing the boundaries. So let's say you have plans to hit a particular milestone. Once you hit it, you won't stop. You have to keep pushing. So we've hit the initial goal, but what we've started doing now is to keep pushing that. So pushing that means, okay, how can we scale beyond just secondary school? Because initially our goal was secondary school and primary. So now we are looking at beyond that. So we've started looking into law bar exams. We've started looking at how we can help or provide educational materials for those writing IJMB, JUPEB, professional exams like ICANN. So our goal is to scale that to professional exams and other exams that beyond secondary school. So the adoption rate has been very good. So roughly, we've impacted over 1 million students. So when I say impact, we've had over 1 million students used our product. So that's what I mean by that. But of course, business has two sides. We have the usage and the sales. So in terms of sales, we yearly sell about 60,000 copies, at least 16,000 copies. So what that means is, the way our product design is, more than one user can use one of our products. So if you have it installed on a system, it runs offline. So what that means is, you can have a lot of people sharing that same system, make use of it. We have schools where they install it on 200 systems, and all students in that school, they make use of that a PC, and it means a system may be serving 5, 10 people. We have cafes too that happen to be our customers. They install like 10, and they may have 100 to 500 people using it within a space of 1 year. So the usage is way over 1 million, but yearly sales obviously is about 60,000 copy. Now, it may look a little bit small or large, but it's large if you compare to other industry. Like in the fintech industry, if you check the active user, paid users or active users, is within a range of 20,000 to. So in our own space, we are making a whole lot of difference. But the difference between our industry and the fintech is, a user is a power user. So if you have a user in the fintech, you may have a whole lot of revenue from them. But in the edutech, you are making a difference, and you're also making money. So you're trying not to be focused excessively on generative revenue. So in our industry, you end up charging less for a massive value. So because people believe that you are touching lives, you should be considerate. You are also, it's like a social tech industry. So you have to factor that in. Otherwise, you won't really go far, because most of the people that will benefit from your product, they are those that are from homes that are not well to do. And if you limit your sales to just the rich, you have limited impact. So that's it. But the growth rate is growing up. We hope to go way beyond 100,000 sales this year based on our trajectory. Our product name is actually known as TestDriller. So TestDriller is a name for a suite of products designed for those that are sitting for major exams in Nigeria. So we have products for those sitting for UTME, we have products for those sitting for the SSC or the WAS, then we have products for those sitting for ICANN and so on and so forth. So, but the way we design our product is this: we design it to be tailored to each of the exams. So it's not like a super app. So what that means is, when you install for UTM, you just have UTME content. So you are not going to see other content that are irrelevant to you. So what that means is we have several apps. So that's the meaning of what I'm saying. So we have apps for UTME, we have an app for SSC, and so on and so forth. Then aside TestDriller, we have another set of products known as Test Center. So the difference is Test Center is designed for organizations. So if an organization wants to set or create computer-based tests, just the way JAM has their own infrastructure. So we provide the software infrastructure that can enable any organization to set and conduct their own test within a local server. So the idea is, instead of you using internet-based testing, no, you just use your local server. So the software is designed such that it communicates, all the clients communicate to the server, the exam will be deployed from the server, and they get to see the results on the server. So we have a software dedicated for that. So these are the two broad groups, of what we sell. But we also have other little things out there. We have Math Solver. So Math Solver is something we did about 7 years ago that will enable students get solutions to their math problem. So the idea is, why can't you just type an equation and get solution? Why can't you type an equation and get graphs and all of that? So the idea is to provide a kind of math tutor that provides real-time solution to whatever question you have. So the goal is to boost STEM education, because we notice that in developed countries, most of their students, they have access to all of this. They have access to tools that would enable them get solutions to whatever they want, and simulators, solvers, and the likes. And our goal is to provide such tool to our own market, which happens to be Nigeria and West Africa. So that has been that's our product in general. So that's it. Our main audience, those that actually use our product, they involve those sitting for major exams. So if you happen to be sitting for the UTME exam, or you are sitting for any SSC exam, or you are sitting for BESE or Common Entrance, you are our audience. What that means is, we have what you need to scale your exam. So what that means is, we have well-solved past questions that will allow you to practice based on topics, and we can track your performance in terms of how best you are performing overall and how best you are performing in each topic. Then we also have well-curated notes that are tailored based on the syllabus of the exam. So you can learn whatever you need to learn before the exam, before taking the test. Then we also have what we just introduced this last update, which is AI Tutor. And our AI Tutor is powered by ChatGPT. So what that means is, you can actually chat with our AI Tutor and get real-time response, just like a teacher. You can maybe you are reading a concept like physics, and maybe you have a question like, oh, why can't this be 5 or 10? You can get instant response, and it is very easy to use, very affordable, and very accessible. The alternative, which happens to be the one offered by the company, the ChatGPT company, is way beyond the reach of most of our students. $20 per month is way too expensive. But going through our platform, you can get as low as 500 naira, 1,000 naira, based on what you need. So you pay as you go. And that is a big leverage, which means you can save cost on tutoring. If in case you don't want to pay for a tutorial, for a tutor, you can use that as a tutor, and you get clean, good responses. And we also have some kind of guardrails. So what that means is, the tutor will not say things or respond to things that are beyond the scope of what you are studying. So that is more or less like a kind of parental control to enable parents to be confident that, hey, this thing will not tell your kid things you don't want your kid to hear. So that's another protective layer that we added to our AI Tutor to make it tailored to what will be relevant to that student or learner.
My name is Unekamsi Achukwunke. In this year, 2023, 139 students from Deeper Life High School, Mowe, which is my school, took the UTME and 46 of us came out with 300 and above out of 400 marks in total. I'm just honored to be the top scorer, and I'm grateful to the TestDriller team for presenting me with this gift of 100,000 naira. If you're a Jambite, this TestDriller app is for you.